This audiovisual essay will combine Kevin B. Lee's work to describe the characteristics of desktop documentaries and the difference in aesthetic appreciation and editing methods between desktop documentaries and traditional movies. On the basis of this, the project also explores how desktop documentaries recreate and edit fragmented information through the internet media and creative technologies of the information age.
People cannot imagine how newfangled films could become with developed technology. In 2018, several movies made with desktop materials on computers and mobile phones were released, such as Unfriended, Dark Web, which uses the dark web as a gimmick, Profile, which talks about terror cybercrime, and Searching, which focuses on human flash search engine. In these films, characters communicate with each other through typing and video chat, and they mainly operate computers and browse the web as actions. Through these behaviors, the films reflect the network crime and human flash search stirring. This new film form sought in combining fragmented information reinterprets the film's lost language, which attacks on production methods and the aesthetic appreciation of traditional films. The film industry has responded to the rise of the Internet with the new ideas about digital information, computing, and new aesthetics, especially documentary films. Traditional documentary films combine movie images, voiceovers, and text to build inner relationships, while in the new media area of documentary, its content, form, and dissemination have distinctive features and can more adapt to a variety of source-saturated digital environments. This computerized variant of the film, based on interdisciplinary essay films, is what film experts call desktop documentary. In this area of multimedia convergence of films, television, and the Internet, various forms of media and recording tools are emerging, such as DVD, mobile phones, surveillance camera, vlog, and GoPro and so on. They create a viewing experience from the viewer's perspective, which gives the creators and the audience more inspiration and space to create works. A desktop documentary is a reproduction and representation of digital media on an ordinary computer using softwares and digital tools such as Photo Story 3, Movie Makers, and so on. Kevin B. Lee is a film producer and a critic. His award-winning Transformers Prevab was named one of the best documentaries of 2014 by Sight and Sound magazine and has appeared at several festivals.
Worth looking into. So that got me thinking about how much. At that point, I realized that a lot of this journey and this investigation had taken place on my computer through finding all the videos, editing footage on my computer, doing all this research on my computer. So yeah, why not have the computer be the stage or the set for this story to take place?
The desktop documentary depends on your understanding of the film, thereby tapping into the interpretive potential of the producer. Especially in the video, producers are also seen as a collaborator. That's what filmmakers call a post-movie or passive viewing experience, says Kevin B. Lee. Desktop documentary means in the sense of positioning us as an audience, so that we are not only an audience, but also actively participating in the culture we are immersed in. Kevin B. Lee also says desktop documentaries do not get their materials the usual way, with a camera, but from the internet. Screen capture software replaced cameras, turning computer screens into a way of making and distributing such documentaries. The desktop documentary breaks the limits of time and space. For instance, it can display several browsers on one single screen to express multiple content at the same time. And desktop documentaries have reduced the production cost from film studios and companies. A mobile phone, a computer, and a platform account can easily handle the desktop documentaries from production to distribution step, which achieves the quick creation process, fast broadcasting, and rapid investment recovery goals. However, the desktop documentary viewing action of audiences is similar to the common computer user experience. The Internet, the media of the desktop documentary, is not only a huge information resource, but also a primary experience of reality, which means that the desktop documentary deeply questions the notion of realism and problematizes its role of representation in contemporary art. Because the traditional film is trying to reproduce a real world, it rejects the existence of the frame. The bigger the screen, the more hidden the frame, and the closer it is to real life. From this audience psychology analysis, the traditional film is to rely on the image of the story to guide the audience, so that the audience has a real sense of empathy. But in any case, this reality is still accomplished by dramatic characters and plots. Instead, as the desktop replaces the screen, the information and elements on the Internet become the details, contradictions, and actions of the story, confusing the viewers with the boundary between reality and fiction. The truth creates a high degree of confusion here. In addition, in the digital era, the fragmentation of information dissemination and audiences' use of the Internet has led to the growing independence of the public on digital media, providing an environmental basis for the generation of the desktop documentary. In August 2018, Ofcom, the UK telecoms regulator, reported that people check their smartphones every 12 minutes on an average when they wake up. 71% of people say they have never turned their phones off, and 40% of people say they check their phones within every 5 minutes. Most users look through other media softwares while watching TV or films, which takes multitasking phenomenon to a new level. With the popularity of the Internet and the stability of personal mobile terminal technology, as long as the opening of electronic devices can be any time and anywhere to receive the newest movie information. This way of watching films has become a common behavior in their life. The emergence of desktop documentary films conforms to the trend of the changing way people watching movies in the fragmentation age. The Internet area has brought countless individuals together, and these individuals are divided into audience groups, online and offline, in different ways, making them have different viewing needs for documentary films. At the same time, the technical threshold is lowered, which makes people have the ability to enter the desktop documentary production link. The increase of the audience demand and the creative ideas of filmmakers lead to the diversification of the subject matters in the creation of the desktop documentary. In the age of fragmentation, the explosion of data and information both make people anticipated and hesitate. Desktop documentaries are the products relying on the big data. However, the accuracy of the information of today's films has to be confirmed. The data may be exaggerated, fake, or unreliable. A desktop documentary filmmaker in a storyteller whose work is to collect, interpret, and share facts for the public. A jumble of information is like a volatile material. If handled carelessly, research and representation of facts can lead to misunderstanding, sabotage, and changes the course of history. Besides, the competition of the film market will be more intense, and the consumers who choose the films will be more critical of both the content and the form of transmission. As an individual producer of documentary, it is easy to be influenced by these factors in screening and judging the authenticity of information. How to choose the material of a desktop documentary objectively in the mass new media information, and improve the authenticity and the reliability of the film in the audience's mind has become a big challenge of the desktop documentary. Generally speaking, the desktop documentary is the inevitable product and response to new media and digital technology. It provides a groundbreaking format for the presentation of documentary films and audiovisual articles. It uses the internet to share data and computer screens on the fragmentation of information to convey the truth. At the same time, the desktop documentary on realism and the objective judgment of information and the competitiveness of the film market has caused an impact.